In with the new batteries, that is. I'm going to cover the design, cost, and time spent converting to a new lithium battery system for my sailboat. Most importantly, I'll share what it took to accomplish this in the amount of time available, because as a boat owner, this was one of those short fuse, fire drill projects that demanded immediate attention. The benefits of this project will be huge. Hi, I'm Sailor Herrick, and if you're interested in sailing or boat maintenance, you have absolutely positively come to the right channel. Let's talk about the battery system that was replaced. It was a 5-battery house bank of Lifeline gel cell 125 amp hour batteries and a starter battery of the same make and specifications. The house and starter banks were both hooked up to a Blue Sea switch that allowed for combining the two banks onto the same circuit. A Blue Sky solar controller was connected directly to the house bank, while a Xantrex True Charge 2 battery charger and alternator were hooked to the starter battery circuit. This entire system was calibrated for lead-acid batteries, as were the controllers. They all predated lithium batteries, so they were not compatible to lithium. I've converted to an AGM 100 amp hour starter battery on an isolated switch and a 4-battery 165 amp hour lithium house bank on its own switch. The reason the starter battery is still AGM is because I've not replaced the alternator or invested in a new regulator. And the alternator is calibrated to support legacy batteries. Beware that lithium batteries can head fake an alternator into destroying itself. There are huge benefits to this overall conversion, to include lighter batteries that are easier to handle, more space savings, and greater battery capacity with batteries at the beginning of their life cycles. Here are some interesting things you should know when converting to lithium batteries. Lithium batteries often have onboard computer systems called BMS, Battery Monitoring System. Many support a Bluetooth connection. These programs are there to facilitate monitoring, efficient usage, and they'll also prevent overheating. Some lithium batteries require an external BMS to be attached to the batteries. Lithium iron phosphate batteries are considered the safest and most efficient for marine applications. They generally will last longer, have more cycles, and are much less likely to overheat compared to other types of lithium batteries. When I realized a few weeks ago that I would have to replace the batteries as a DIY project, I knew I would be in for some stress and on-the-fly learning, but I also knew I would find this kind of challenging and fun. Don't buy a boat if you do not think these kind of challenges can be fun. Mind you, I'm working full-time while doing these projects. I suspected I would need one full weekend to pull out the old battery system and prep for the new battery system. I then felt I would need 2 ensuing weekends to install the new battery system, to include a new battery charger, solar charger, and DC to DC charger, all of which would be able to support lithium or lead acid AGM type batteries. I'll tell you more about a DC to DC charger a little later in this video. It's important. After pulling out the old batteries during the last weekend in April, which I covered here in the last episode, I took delivery of the new Interstate 100 amp hour starter battery and 4 Redodo lithium iron phosphate batteries. They're 165 amp hours each for a total of 660 amp hours. On the first weekend in May, I hauled them to the boat and installed them. All batteries were delivered at 50% charge. In order to connect the 4 lithium batteries to a bank, they first required to be fully charged individually and then subsequently hooked together and isolated to allow for cell and bank balancing. By the end of the day on Sunday, I had the lithium batteries connected together in a bank and had a starter battery that was fully connected to the alternator, engine, and AC battery charger. Very happy about the progress there. Here's the wiring diagram of how I intended the system to look at the end of the second week of May. The lithium bank would be subsequently connected to bus bars on both positive and negative sides, in addition to being connected directly together. This design is the recommended design by the manufacturer according to the manual. The solar controller would provide a charge through a fuse to the positive bus bar, and a large 225 Class T fuse would connect to the positive bus bar and then to a dedicated blue C's bank switch. I also have a shunt installed on the negative side for the benefit of the battery monitor. The house bank would be designed to support the switch panel for the boat's lights, instruments, and amenities, the inverter, and windlass. And it would take charging from the solar panel or the DC to DC charger. Let's pause here to talk about the DC to DC charger. This device is meant to allow charging amps coming from the AGM battery to be transferred over to a lithium battery. Lithium batteries can generally be charged much faster than an AGM or lead acid batteries, and therefore can take a much higher amperage in the early stages of charging. They also require less time on the back end of charging at lower amperage charge levels. The DC to DC controller is meant to efficiently move charging amps that the AGM lead acid battery is receiving and provide the appropriate charging levels to the lithium battery bank. Note that a DC to DC charger can get hot, and the installation instructions clearly state to install on a non-flammable surface. The starter battery would be on its own circuit and dedicated switch. It would be connected to the battery charger, the alternator, and the DC to DC charger to allow the lithium bank to receive the benefits of any charging going on. You might notice that all of the new controllers are Victron, and all are connectable via Bluetooth to a phone application. Victron is an established brand, and I thought it would be good to leverage one app to monitor all devices. I do have a separate app for the Redodo batteries. How much did this system cost? Here's the breakdown. The Redodo batteries altogether with shipping and taxes were under $1,400, and the Interstate 100 amp hour AGM battery cost under $300. The battery charger is small, supporting only 20 amps, and costs approximately $200. The solar and DC to DC controllers together cost $450. The fuses cost around $300. The Class T fuse and holder in particular were the greatest expense, and I learned that fuse manufacturers matter. I spent around $200 on the bus bars and terminals, $350 on wire, both single aught and 6 gauge, and $300 on tools, lugs, and accessories. All in, this came to a budget of under $3,500. I was really pleased with this budget. 5 years ago, I had felt that the project would easily double that budget and more likely triple it. What was the cost of time? Looking at the work and assigned estimated hours to each of the jobs, I could easily see this job taking a professional 40 hours, which means it would probably take me about 60 hours. In practice, this was pretty close. I spent over 50 hours on this project over the course of 3 weekends. This is actually the 4th weekend, and 1 half day as well on a weekday. And that's not counting the time spent on research, design, product management, and reviewing instructions and troubleshooting, all trying to get ahead of the system or learn it on the fly. This system is fully in place. I've been testing it. I did find some issues. I found some voltage drops prior to this weekend. I've just worked through that. That's another video I'll show you. The battery monitor is not yet functioning, so I have to work on that. There's some work and troubleshooting that still remains. There's also some additional fusing and a general review of the system I would like to get done soon, but this system is installed, it's working, I'm very happy with it. I'm going to show it to you in practice, especially during the delivery of Silver Heels to her port for the summer at Mineral Harbor. I want to thank my current subscribers for your support. It means a lot. If you stayed until the end of this video, please press that like button, as it increases the probabilities that others like you will see this video in their feed. This is Sailor Eric. Thanks for watching.